Yeah. So now let's begin. So you want to learn about breakout and fakeout today. But the first thing we are going to learn today is measuring volatility. Yeah. So how do you know uh, the momentum of the market, or sorry, volatility of the market? So there are different types of indicators you can use to be able to measure the volatility of the market. So the first indicator we can use, because this is what will give you a chance to be able to know when a breakout is about to happen. So the first indicator we can use is moving average. So we are going to talk a little bit about it, but if you want to learn more about moving average, you can go watch the moving average again to remind yourself more about it. Then the second thing is Bollinger Bands. We are going to go to MT4 to learn more on this, and the next one is average true rate. Average true rate, or ATR. So let's go to MT4 to see how each of these indicators are working. So we'll be able to see how we can use them to measure volatility. Let me share you my MT4. Yeah, I believe you can see my now. Yeah. So now let's start from moving average. So indicators, moving average. Although we already learned this, so assuming we use like 100 simple moving average, then you can see when it's closer to the market, that means the price of the market isn't, volatility is not too much. But when it's a bit far from the price, then there is a high volatility. So you can be able to see here. So you see when it's close here, it means the volatility is not much. But when it's a bit far from it, then there is a long volatility or high volatility. You can be able to see here. It's not too close to the market because there is high volatility. So you can use moving average to measure it. But the higher the number, the more you can be able to see, and you can learn which average candle you want to learn. Because some people don't know the meaning of this 100 or 2 we are entering here. The meaning of 10 or 100 we are entering means the average 100 candles. So like 100 I put in means the average moving price in the last 100 hours. That's the meaning because I'm on hourly candle. Assuming I'm on 30-minute candle, it means, and I come here, I just moving average, and I put 100. That means average moving 100, last 100 candles on this 30 minutes. That's the meaning of the 100. So that is using moving average. The other things we can use is Bollinger Bands. Let's open another here. Come here and trend Bollinger Bands. Let's just use them. Can use any one you like. Now, this one have 3 lines. Okay, to be clearer, let's use 100 too. Bollinger Bands, 100. Oh, sorry. I need to quickly open a new chart. Bollinger Bands, 100. Fantastic. Now, in Bollinger Bands, there will be a moving average inside it. This is moving average inside the Bollinger Bands, and there will be two other lines, one at the top and one below. Now, how will you know there is high volatility or low volatility? When the Bollinger Bands line, the two lines contract, like they are close to each other, then there is not too much of volatility, like you see in this place. But when it expands, then there is high volatility. So you can see here, when there's high volatility, you move away from the price like this one too. So, and you can also be able to see the 100 moving average inside it. The one you see inside here is 100 moving average. So, and the Bollinger Bands will add another two lines to the moving average. So you'll be able to see when there is high volatility or when there's a low volatility. So the another indicators you can use is ATR. That is average true range. Yeah, so this is the average true range. So okay, we can use this. We can also use another one. So now, okay, let me set it. Let me set it here. Average true range levels. Okay. Yeah. Now, in average true range, when the line is smaller, then you know there is little volatility. But when it's going a lot higher or a lot below like this, then there is going to be high volatility. So that's the theory example the most popular people use to measure volatility. But it's better to stick with the moving average and ATR because those are easier to use to measure volatility. So if you want to be trading breakout, the first thing you need to understand is measuring volatility. If you have any question on that, of course, I'm recording it. So if you want to learn about that, if you want to be using breakout, focus on moving average or Bollinger Bands. So the other thing we talk about is the breakout types. So there are two types of breakout. So the first one is continuation breakout, and the second one is reversal breakout. So I want to look for a perfect example of each of these breakout. So okay, let me this. Yeah, it's like we have sample here. It's like we have sample here. Now, so the first of all, a continuation breakout. A continuation breakout is when there is a trend, there's a consolidation, and then the trend continues. For example, let's look at this one here. So there's an uptrend here. There's an uptrend here. Then later, It start consolidating here. It start consolidating here. Then it continue here before it's now reversed. This is what we call continuous breakout. Although the continuation is not too long, but it continue a little bit before it's now come back. So this is what we call continuation breakout. First of all, the uptrend start here, then it start consolidating here, then the uptrend continue, then it stop before it come back. So this is continuation. Goes, consolidate, then continue. Now, let's look for a reversal breakout. Okay, there's no sample of reversal breakout here. Okay, this is a reversal breakout. Fantastic. We can also use this as an example. But here is a downtrend. Now look at this downtrend here. So there is a downtrend here. Yeah, there is a downtrend. Then the consolidating started here. And there's a consolidation here before it's now reversed. You can say a continuous breakout will continue then after this consolidation, but a reversal will come back. We return to, we change direction of breakout. So that is different between continuous breakout and a reversal breakout. So that is it about types of breakout. So reversal breakout always happen when traders believe the trend is going wrong direction. Like this one right now, they believe there should be uptrend here, then it start consolidating here before it's reversed. So now let's go to another one, which is trading breakout with trend lines, channels, and triangles. Let me close this one so we can open. Yeah. So let's open a new one. Yeah. So the first we should learn is trend line. Although we already learned that, we already learned trend line. So this is it. Like this one right now, you use this channel. Assuming you have analyzed this trend line, this channel, this consolidating. Now you can wait for it to break out up here like it does here, and then enter the market. That's it, enter with trend line. Some of the time it is uptrend. So some of the time the uptrend here. Okay. Things seem to stop at January 2021. Okay. Yeah. So the way you can trade that is using trend line, which seems to be the first thing we learn. So just draw your trend line, and when it breaks out, you enter the market. The second one is channel, which is the one I draw here. Because in this one, you are waiting to either break out below or above. The next one is triangle. For spotting triangle, let's see if we can see example of a triangle here. Let me see. Let's quickly look for a pair. We can going to find a pair that give us a perfect example for triangle. Now, a lot of the time, okay, seem we have one. But there are different type of triangle. That is why we need to make another video for that explain triangles only. We need to make a whole video on triangle, so it can be easier to understand. Yeah. So when trading triangle, now this is it. So inside now, you are going to analyze this triangle and wait for it to either break out above or below. Let's draw here using now. Okay, there is a breakout here right now, but you don't know, maybe it's either a fake breakout or a real breakout. Although to understand triangle perfectly, we need to do another video on it. But this is an example of a triangle. Now it's ranging, the support line is straight, but now it's making a little bit of downtrend here. Now you are expecting to either break out below or above. But this market seems to be breaking below. Although you may want to wait a little bit to be sure, maybe it's fake breakout or it is truly breakout. Or you can also study the candle to be able to show, or use like maybe another 2-3 indicators to confirm maybe this market is truly going to sell or it's just a fake breakout. So that is it. But looking at it, you can see that it goes down here, but buyers are pulling back up. Sellers keep trying, but buyer keeps trying to pull back up. So there's still no 100% sure sign that this market is truly going to sell. So it's looking like a fake breakout. But if you are trading in, so if you want to trade this, you can keep studying it perfectly more tomorrow, because we're on 1 hour chart. So you can come back to it around the next 3 to 4 hours to be able to say, I think it's AUD USD, be able to trade it. So that is using triangle, channel, or line to trade breakout. So the next thing we are going to learn in breakout and fake out is determining momentum before breakout. Now here we are going to use, let's just pick another thing on random. Yeah, and now let's use, first of all, let's using MACD to determine momentum. MACD. Yeah, we can see when MACD is moving up like this, there are chances there is high momentum. Yeah, there is possible high momentum, and when MACD is a little bit lesser here, it means there is low momentum. Like you see here right now, there's a little bit of high momentum here. There's a bit of high momentum here. Market move up a little bit before it goes down. Well, one thing we want to learn, for example, here, this peer doesn't give us a perfect example of high or low momentum, because it seems like it's consolidating a little bit. It's just moving to and fro here. There's not too much of high or low momentum. But if you look at it here, this is the example. From here to here, it forms a high momentum. from here to here also form another high momentum. And we can also call this the continuation trend, because it's trend upline, consolidate here and the trend continue here before it's now finally reversed. But now this is one thing you want to learn from MACD to be able to see their chances of a reversal. If you look at here, you can see there's a high momentum before it comes back a little bit here. Then the high momentum continue. Now, when it reach here, you can see when it's very, very low, and MACD is giving sign that their chances is very, very low. That means there's a possible that MACD about to change direction. We can look at it here. So when you see a trend, for example, here too, when you see a trend as it's going up here, but now come very, very slow, then there is a possible for a reversal. But if you look at it here, if you have entered a trade here, it's going to consolidate up here, and there are chances your stop loss will be hit here. But if you enter here, then there are chances you will catch up with this momentum. Just like any indicators, it's not going to be 100% right every time. It's just going to give you, that is why you can be using 2, 3 indicators together to be able to see a lot of confirmation. But this is also one of the one you can use to determine momentum. So another one we are going to look into is RSI. So let's open another one, then look for RSI, Relative Strength Index. Yeah. So in the RSI, you can see here, when there is a consolidation, RSI will stay in between. But immediately it's going above, then there are chances, you understand that there are chances market want to move up a lot. And when it crosses back line, there are chances there will be a reversal. Although the reversal is very small, then it's ranging here before it goes back up here. But when it hit here and it comes, you have to wait. If it doesn't stay long up here, then there are chances there won't be a lot of reversal. Like you see here right now, just move out a little bit, then come back in and keep ranging in between 30 and 70% here. There is not too much of oversold or overbought because the market keep ranging. But when it get here, it stay out for some time and then ranging here before it's now come back down and start ranging again. So you can wait for it to either move above 70 or below 30. And if you stay there for a little bit of the time, then you can be able to determine there will be a change in momentum. But now, so you can, those are the 2 indicators you can use to determine momentum, either using MACD or RSI. So now you can use those plus trend line plus triangle plus determine volatility to start trading breakout. So that's how you can trade breakout. So another thing we are going to talk about is fake out, trading breakout. Trading breakout simply means you are trading fake breakout. Let me see if you can see example here. Although I really want us to make another video on that. Okay, let's look into this, for example. This one doesn't give us a perfect fake breakout. This one doesn't give us. Let's look for another pair. You can see the one that gives us a perfect fake breakout. Okay. All of this one just give us some consolidating. Yeah, we can say, yeah, okay. This is, although this one doesn't range a lot. Doesn't range a lot. Now, this is how a fake breakout works, because we don't see a pair that give us a perfect example that we can use for a perfect example. Now, assuming your trading, the market is moving, you give your either your resistance or your support, either above here, and it gives sign of trying to break out above or below, but it's only fake breakout and then change direction. But you already understand that the breakout may be fake and you now trade against it. That is when we call it fading breakout. That because you are trading fake breakout. We make another video to make a perfect example for it and what you can use to be able to train it and also learn more about the triangle. I think we should do that tomorrow. That's what we do tomorrow. But for now, those are all you need to be able to trade to be able to trade a breakout. You learn volatility, momentum, then your trend line, then you are good to go to start trading breakout. So let me know if you have any question before we start checking how we do make our tradings today. Any question before I stop the recording so that your questions can be answered in the recording? Yeah. So let me, since we don't have any question, I'll stop the recording now and we start checking account.